Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kaz and I'm from Momiji Savings Studios. I thought I'd come on, getting really excited because I'm going to BBMU Saturday and I start my travelling tomorrow morning. I've done all my work for the day and I've finished a little bit early so I could start packing, and I thought I'd do my budget recap for the month of May. Yeah, so thank you for those of you who've recently subscribed and are commenting. I really appreciate your support, and welcome to the channel. For those of you who've been following me for a long time, I really appreciate it. Some of you might know, if you've seen previous videos, I am going home. So my time in the UK is coming to an end. I can't really say I'm sad. No, I'm not sad. I'm excited. I leave UK on the 6th of July. I go to my grandkids in Japan. I know I'll be there from the 7th of July until the 28th, 29th, I think it's 29th, and I land back in New Zealand on the 30th of July. I start my new job on the 3rd of August, so I do have 4 weeks of no money. And then another 2 weeks after that. We get paid fortnightly in New Zealand, which will ease a bit. So if you go back to my previous videos, there are lots of chaos, lots of unstuffing my binders, trying to make it all add up, and not succeeding. Yeah. It looks like I took 250 to Scotland. I actually came back with some money, but I actually should have taken much more than that. That's cool. I took my host out for dinner 2 nights in a row and bought some food and a couple of things, but didn't spend very much. I didn't feel the need to buy lots of things to take to New Zealand with me. As we speak, I have not got enough space in my suitcase for anything, so I didn't buy anything. Anyway, I will go through this month's May's budget, and I will zoom this in when I get to it, so you'll see this close up. So my wages came in at $2,610.81. I did some side hustles. I did about 5 or 6 sales and got £12.86. It's just ridiculous. So I've got a big black bag of clothes and I'm going to donate them. It's just too much hassle to sell them. I emptied my binders and put an extra £1,055.45 into my bank, and that came to £3,679.12. I haven't done my New Zealand side yet because I don't get my last rent payment till the 30th, and it's the 29th today. Over here, Netflix has come out, ChatGPT came out. These two are both going to be cancelled in the next couple of weeks. Mum has got her money. The RCN will be cancelled soon, so that will come out next month, and then that will be it. Diesel this month, I went and found a garage which was about 5 or 6 miles up the road from where I work, and instead of paying $1.89 a litre, I paid $1.72 a litre. So I did well on petrol this month. I've got just under half a tank and Mum's now driving, and I did quietly mention that maybe she can put some money in, where she said, oh, I don't use it very much. But anyway, I'm going to let that go because, you know, that's how it is. Spending, I've probably spent all my 160, I think, this month. I have got some money left, which I've actually put to one side. I'm not taking it to BBMU because I do have enough to take to BBMU. My allowance was spent on food and going out for the day, so that was £87.85. And parking and trains was over budget. And I remember what the £15 was. It was a fine for parking in a free car park at the Premier Inn. I appealed, they refused, and they said you can pay £15. So I think it was a money earner because they said the parking was £100 fine and it went down to 15. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, when I go to Worcester next month, I will really check what the parking situation is at the Premier Inn. So my parking trains came to £32.50, which is £12 over. New Zealand expenses, I haven't sent anything over to New Zealand. because I'm paying for flights and things. So I have put £500 across into savings, which I might use to send over if I don't need it. So my expenses came to £465.30, leaving me with £3,213.82. I didn't buy any bonus bonds. In fact, I've cashed them in. I get them, I think, on about the 4th or 5th of June. And I haven't sent anything over to my pension. So that left me with the same. And then here you'll see, let me just make sure that's in. So the flight's got 300. I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to give it to something else, but I did save that to go into binders. My emergency fund didn't get anything because that went back into my account. The grandkids got 100. And then all these Christmas, birthdays, registrations, hobbies, clothing and beauty didn't get anything, and all that money here allocated went back into the bank to pay for bills. My binders got 100 and food got 100, and that was all spent. Right, I've moved that. So that was 600, and that left me with 2,613. So here we had the credit card debt from last month, the hospital visit for my foot, which is actually killing me right now, and I'm not sure what's going on. But I think walking around Edinburgh, I must have done about 40,000 steps, so it might be that. I had to buy a new cooker for my house in New Zealand, and this morning I got a message to say the garage door has broken and I need to replace either a spring or the whole door. So I'm getting that quoted. If it doesn't rain, it pours, so money is oozing out of me all over the place. So the cooker I actually bought with English pounds because, yeah, I just couldn't, I couldn't work out how to get the money to New Zealand and then pay, because my credit card has been stopped because I've got a new one sitting at my old address. So they stopped, even though they said they wouldn't, they did. So that was that. Hotel accommodation, that's for next month. So that's for me to go to Worcester, which I'm still going on the course, but I've got to use my own expenses. They still give me the days off, but all my other training has been cancelled. And because I booked the accommodation, I said, I've already booked it. So she said, okay, then I can go. And then I've got 2 days in Leicester, which is 3 nights accommodation. So that gives me 4 days away, which is nice. My flights from Japan to New Zealand they actually cost about £890, but I paid it in yen, and with the conversion it left this difference. But I'm leaving this debt at the same because I think that it just looks much better. So I took £1,000 out of my account, put it into my global account, transferred it into Japanese yen and paid for my flights. I've still got some yen there which I'm leaving, and actually I'll leave this as what it is because I need to buy Japanese Wi-Fi, and I also need to get myself back from my son to Tokyo to then catch my flight home to New Zealand. And then my flight from the UK to Japan was £1,392.99. That is, so my last time I went there, it was £900, I think, maybe 1,000. So it's gone up a bit. But basically, I'm going economy class. I'm going in off season, and yeah, so it's 2,200. So all that came to £5,536.94 in things I've had to pay for that weren't budgeted. But once I've take out this month's wages, I've left with £2,923.12, and actually on my credit card at the moment it's £2,681.53. So I'm just going to leave this number a bit bigger because I'm not sure why there's £241.59 less in my credit card. It could be I've just paid a bit off somewhere else, but these sums are correct. My mum has offered to pay my credit card bill this month, which is £1,200, and then I will pay my credit bill next month, which will be another £1,500. So that is, the good news is that the credit card will be paid off before I leave to go to New Zealand. So this is my savings breakdown. This is where I put how much wonderful money I have. And as you know, I've emptied everything. So clothes has got nothing, health has got nothing. Beauty actually has £100 at the moment, which is for my hair. Hobby has nothing. Emergency fund has nothing. New Zealand Fights is gone. Pixel Perfect is gone. Birthdays have gone. Christmas is gone. Retirement, that's still there actually, but it's in New Zealand, so that's still there. But I'm not saving up any more for it, so it's sort of gone. Scotland, that's now gone, and you see I took 250. I was really out, and my sums were really off. Should have looked in here. Now BBMU, I have put my money in my purse, so perhaps you'd like me to count up to see how much that is, because there is no FPOS machines with those who are selling. I am taking all cash, and what I've done is I've divided it up. So we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That is for the hotel, and that goes in this bit of my purse. Then we've got 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Is that right? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Actually, that 100 was for food. This 90 is for the hotel. So it goes in there. So I'm going to do this. So 190 plus, oh, no. There we go. So that's 190. So now we've got, let's do it this way. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 145. This is 145 there. And that is for buying things at BBMU. And then I've got change. I've been saving up my change. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So for BBMU we've got £355. So that's some of the difference. So some of Scotland went into that. So in BBMU at the end of the month we've got 355. Now my mum's coming up and she's probably going to talk to me. Hold on, I'm going to pause you. Hello and welcome back. Right, so where was I? Yes, so we've got £355 to take to BBMU, which is great. Weekend trips is now gone. That's gone. The grandkids, right. So the grandkids still have money. Yay! And what my son said is just bring it with me. So this is going to go all in the bank again into my savings so I can then transfer it to them. So in the grandkids we've got 210, 230, 250, 270, 290, 310, 330, 350, 370, 380, 395. So 300, let's get the right pen, 395. That's brilliant. That's actually a bit more than the 100 a month. And I want to put this back in the bank, so 20, let's do it this way. So what's going back to the bank? 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 70, 85, 185. So 185 is going back to the bank. This is my list of the things I need to do. So 185, so this is back to bank. Now there's not much money to go back to the bank. And I need a pen and my rubber for this. Do you know, I'm thinking I could make that up. There's a black pen. Here we go. Right, so I'm very excited. BBMU coming up. Yay, going to see the grandkids. Yay. So $3.95 will be for the grandchildren. so that's that. And then in this one, while we're here, I've actually started another game using the flight money, and this is going to be my Japan spending money. So it's got in here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75. So that's 1 week of this, of the 75. So that's the flight money. And I don't have a placeholder, so we're going to put 75, and then we'll in bank, we'll keep it on here, because I'm not sure if I'll get through all these savings before I go, because although that's not too big, so we might, but we'll just keep it on the back of here for now. Right. Oh, it's so nice, the wind's picking up. It's been so humid. So humid. Right, so that's empty now. Oh, things are falling apart. And I've budgeted for £100 a month to go into the grandkids and £200 a month to go into Japan. Registrations has got nothing now. Registrations I don't need because I'm leaving England, and in New Zealand our registration is paid for by our employer. Nothing in there. Shut the box. So this is our new game, which I'm putting in my leftover money. My beauty money's here in cash still, so I've now got this in here. So this has been leftover money. This I think was leftover from Scotland too. We've got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75. This might have been flight money. No, I think it was just leftover. So the shut the box will be for anything that I need, and I think I'm going to be using that for postage in the bank. So we're now the 29th. The 5th is 75. So we'll just keep a track of it on there because I don't have a placeholder. So even though it looks pretty bad, there is still money in the bank. And so that is, let's see how much we're putting in the bank. And what I didn't do was put this, so this is grandkids. No, that was grandkids. Ah. This was Japan, was 75. And shut the box, which is for postage, I think. And this is grandkids. So going back to the bank is 185 plus 150. That's 1,000. 150 plus 185 equals 335. Okay, so let's count this out, shall we? Let's put it all in its... So I'll be able to use this for spending money and food and stuff. So what I do is I keep the cash. I transfer this money across from my wages account into my savings account, and then it saves me going to the bank. But I will have to go to the bank this month because I did put lots of money back into the bank. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 20, 40, 60, 80. So we're going to minus 180 equals, and then we've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and 10, 20, 30, 40. So minus 140 equals, so we should be 15, 5, 10, 15. So that is correct. Cool. So that's going back to the bank. It's not really, it will be transferred electronically, and then I will use this for putting in my binders. So that's that done, and then we move over to June. I've already done my dates, so I've got a full month of work, and then I've done The grandkids are going to get 100, shut box 100, and Japan 200. I've sent 500 into the bank account for New Zealand expenses. I'm hoping to put a bit more. The food is normal, my allowance is normal, packing, yeah, everything else there is the same. And here is my projection that by the time I get paid and do all these bills, I should have cleared my debt by quite a bit. And then Mum is actually going to give me 1,200, which will clear that a bit, and then my bonus bonds will come in and clear that. So I have actually put 300 on my credit card already, because I don't want to have a big bill next month. So it does seem doable, and this is June's, and then July's payment, I'm not sure. I think I've got a few days annual leave owed to me, and I finish on the 3rd of July, so that there'll be a week's wages to come through in July sometime. So that'll be cool. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that and coming along on my process. I actually have been sorting out, and I've transferred my little Japanese penguin and star onto this book from my Budget with Ira book, and I'm slowly taking pages out of this because I don't want to take it home with me and keep it going, because that's important. So thanks for coming along, and thanks for watching, and yeah, here's to another month of cash stuffing before I head off home back to my hometown in New Zealand. So I'll see you all later, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all at BBMU, and if I don't get this edited in time, I'm sure I've had a good time at BBMU. So thanks for coming along. Bye for now.